Let's talk about Sinners. So I saw Sinners last night, and oh my God. I've never felt so bad about seeing a movie so late. I had originally planned on seeing Sinners the second it came out. I had seen the trailer, and that alone got me pretty hooked. And I'm not normally the kind of person who gets hooked on trailers, but something about this just got me really interested.
Nah, we cousins.
And the fact that it's a Ryan Coogler film made it even better. See, I've been a fan of Ryan Coogler's ever since Fruitvale Station. If you haven't seen it, it's a movie about the shooting of Oscar Grant, and this movie was an absolute breath of fresh air to me. Next, I saw Black Panther, which I can't lie, the first Black Panther movie wasn't my favorite. Not because it was bad, it was I had a great time watching it, but because it felt more like Marvel patting itself on the back for having a movie with black people. Marvel's like, yeah, we got a black superhero, aren't we cool? The second movie though, I think the second movie, I loved Wakanda Forever. I think that movie really, it stopped being the black superhero film and it became, the second one was more a celebration of Chadwick Boseman. And I felt that gave it the space it needed to be its own thing. The only Creed movie I saw was Creed 3, which I loved, but Michael B. Jordan directed that one, so. But now we have Sinners, and oh my God, this is one of the best movies I've seen in such a long time. It's pretty to look at. The soundtrack is amazing. The cast is insane. Everything about this movie, I resonated so much with this movie. I left the theater going yo, I need to change my life. I gotta start moving different. Ask my roommates. I actually said that several times on the Uber home. I was fucking moved, dog. I'm sure if you're watching this, you already know what the movie's about. But in case you aren't, the movie is about two twins who... Oh my gosh, hey Basil. The movie is about two twins who return to their hometown in Mississippi to start a juke joint. And then some Klansmen vampires show up.
We heard tale of a party.
And hijinks ensue. And a juke joint is basically just an old-timey club. They got music and drinks and food and stuff like that. Just a place to have a good time. Now, there are tons of people online who have already broken down this movie and talked about its themes and, what it means and this and that. And depending on who you are, you'll probably resonate with different parts of the movie. One of the great things about this movie is that it just says so much more than what you'd think a vampire movie would be able to. So I want to talk about a couple themes that I really resonated with. If you disagree with any of these takes or want to expand on it, commenting is heavily encouraged. I would love for this to become a discussion. The arts belong to us all. Sinners has one of the best depictions of commodification that I've ever seen. Commodification is defined as the action or process of treating something as a mere commodity. And roughly, this is when you take something that's not meant to be sold and turn it into something that can be sold. You'll see this all the time at bougie grocery stores where they have things like health shots. Most of the time, these are just some home remedies that somebody's mom used to make for them until somebody comes along and goes, oh shit, I can sell these. Gentrification is the commodification of neighborhoods. Man, that was hard to say. It's when semi-poor neighborhoods become culturally popular and then wealthy people come in and displace the people who built the culture. Over time, this will dilute that culture till it's just another rich person neighborhood. Remick and the vampires in Sinners represent a lot of things, but one of the major ones for me is the spirit of commodification. The vampires are originally attracted to the juke joint because they hear Sammy's music. Music that is so good, it attracts both people and spirits. And the vampires want Sammy so that they can use this music to attract others, presumably to turn them and increase their numbers. And this is a really clean metaphor for how things are commodified. Somebody sees something that they can use for personal gain, whether it be financial or clout or whatever. They see that thing and take it for themselves. The vampires not being able to enter the building without being let in also serves as a really clean metaphor. In order to take something from a culture, you have to be let into that culture. Now, that doesn't mean you have to become an honorary member of that community, but you can't steal somebody's idea if they don't tell it to you in the first place. And the crazy thing about letting people into cultures is that a lot of the time it happens out of necessity. And this is mirrored by how the twins go about charging people in the movie. The joint was originally meant as a place for the culture, a place for people in the community to just enjoy themselves. But Mary reminds them that in order to be sustainable, the place has to charge money. And at that point, Mary goes outside and considers letting the vampires in. And this is how cultures and communities start to become diluted. Once money is involved, people start going against their values. And not just out of greed, sometimes it's out of pure desperation. And by the way, if you know what to look for, this is a really good way to know how well a company is doing, financially. Back when streaming services essentially tripled the amount of ads that they were serving, I was like, oh, y'all are broke. And they were. They were actively making the user experience worse. And to me, that screams, we're desperate, we need money. And when you need money, you start doing things that you otherwise wouldn't. Like letting a bunch of weirdos into the cookout. Yes, I'm talking about the movie again. Once the newly turned Mary is inside, she kills Stack, which again represents how letting someone into your culture can be dangerous. The vampires also serve a fantastic representation of assimilation. One of the most memorable scenes in the entire movie is when the people who were just inside the joint are all turned. They all start to join in on these folk songs, which is a vibe that's completely different than what was just playing inside of the joint. And this mirrors how desegregation worked in the United States. It's a crazy segue, yo, they were dancing. Basically when the United States started to desegregate, they framed it as integration, as in both groups joining hands and becoming one culture. But in reality, what was expected was more like assimilation. Sure, black kids were now being bused to white schools, but were any white kids being bused to black schools? Of course not. In fact, most black schools would just shut down altogether because, the powers that be would rather just shut the schools down than risk having white kids go there. God forbid a white person goes to a school for them blackies. I'm never doing that again. Black people were expected to conform to the norms of white society, but there was never really any serious attempt to integrate white people into black society. And this is something that's mirrored in the film when the vampires first try to enter the joint. Instead of attempting to play blues music, the music that they were playing inside the venue, they started playing folk music. This would be showing up to emo night and then requesting Fetty Wap or something like that. Bro, I love Trap Queen, but I'm trying to jam to I Write Sins right now. And this assimilation mindset has more or less continued until very recently. I'm talking 2010s recently. I think for most of American history, people have seen white culture as the norm instead of it being a norm for some people. And that's the thing. People can't see beyond what they see as normal. Shit, man, to some black folks, white people aren't normal. You know what I'm saying? It's also, fun fact, the last school to be desegregated was a school in Mississippi, and that happened in 2016. That is actually crazy. Look that up. Sinners, without a doubt, is one of the most beautiful, clever, creative, and meaningful movies that I've seen in a really long time. I kid you not, this movie changed my brain chemistry, and I mean that. Literally, I feel like this movie is very special, and I'm very glad that it exists, that it's out, and I'm glad that people are talking about it. My name is O. Thank you for watching. Also, before I go, shout out Movo for giving me this cool mic. It's a little wireless mic handle. Comes with different colors. Check this out. There's a bunch of different colors. I think it's super cool, super useful, really pretty. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you later. Bye.